All right, guys. So we're back again with the Open Mics Moment podcast, and I'm here with Son of Ice from The Sound of Learning. Now, if you don't know, this is a podcast that allows people to tell their stories so that we can encourage and learn from one another. And I think that Fred is one of the people in my life that I've met who lives to encourage and uplift people. You know, he's done so for myself. So I'll allow Fred to go ahead and introduce himself.
So, my name is Frederick Douglas Reeves III, but I'm also known as Son of Ice, and my company's called The Sound of Learning, and we empower the youth through song and dance.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about how the Sound of Learning came about. Where did that come from?
It came about from just wanting to help my two younger sons to help them with their continents, their ABCs, just remembering in a cool way, because when I was young, we remembered our continents through songs, and it just helped us to remember. So it started off from there.
Right. Okay. So a little bit of educational, a little bit of hip hop, stuff like that, all that mixed in. So I've seen you perform maybe 3 or 4 times, and I really don't think a lot of people, especially in this area, understand the actual impact that you have on kids when you actually get into the school. So you do go into schools and perform for kids. So tell me a little bit about how, with specific schools, that you kind of tailor what you do to that specific school, because I know in this area, we have some schools that are PWIs, and then we have some schools that are more for Black people. Mm-hmm. So how do you kind of tailor what you do to specific schools?
Well, I first talked with the principal and see what the need is, and they let me know the issues that they're having or that they want to address, and I cater the concert towards their issues. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of do my research of the school, see the things that they like to do, their school lingo, and come in there prepared. So I'm not just coming in there as a person that don't know nothing about that school. I'm actually preparing myself to come to that school so I can have a good connection with them, because it's about connecting. Because if they don't know who you are, they got at least know that you care.
Right. And I feel like that's the same way with teachers. They gotta know that you actually care about what you're doing before they can receive what you're doing. So how do you kind of gauge when the kids are feeling what you're doing?
Well, first they got to get to know you. So no pun intended, but got to break the ice. Got to break the ice. Have little games, have little challenging things for them that they like to do, just to get them to open up to you. And then that's when I can give the knowledge that I want to give to them, after they get to see that I'm here for them and not just here to show up for an event, but actually care about their decision making and how they're doing in school and outside of school.
Right. So, being in education for a long time, well, I guess relatively a long time, in terms of my life, I'm able to see the impact that music has on students. So my question to you is, my next question is, the music that's popular, right? You're talking about something positive in your music, telling kids not to do drugs, things related to not going to jail, not killing somebody, stuff like that. A lot of people don't gravitate towards that, right? Mm-hmm. So like we have artists like, Lil Durk, NBA Youngboy, those are the things that a lot of the kids in our schools gravitate towards. How do you make sure that, well, no, how do you, not how you make sure, but competing against something like that, how do you feel, what you do compares to the negative music that our kids listen to? How do you compare the two?
Well, first of all, I'm not competing. Mm-hmm. It's a journey that we all take, and I went through that journey before of making negative music.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so it wasn't like negative music like killing somebody, but it still wasn't in the vein of doing right by God. So anything other than that is black and white for me. You either doing right by God or you're not.
Right.
So it's your journey, and then once you realize that you want to do better, that you want to have a better connection with God, you'll start making the changes. So my job is just to make sure that there's some advice out there, some good music out there. So when they come to, they have something to go to. Where there has nothing out there, they're trying to find something and there's nothing out there. So I'd rather be able to say like, hey, there is something out there for you to gravitate to once you're ready for it. Because doing good, you gotta be ready to do it. You know what I mean? Like you can know what to do, you can know how to do it, but if you're not ready to do it, it makes it in vain. So I really talk to the people that is wanting that change and ready to make that change, and I'm also talking to the ones that eventually are going to get there. So it's not really competing, it's not really bashing anybody, because we all make mistakes, we all human.
Right.
And
when did you feel that, you know, you made your change? When did that happen for you?
some years ago, but it's just like when I was on the verge of getting my deal, God was just talking to me, especially through scripture. It's like what you want to be known for, what you want your name to be known for. So like the song that I probably would have been known for wouldn't have been what I want to be known for now. So that's what helped me make the change, me just reading the Bible and just understanding like what I want my name to be, because our names are more than gold. Like it tell you that scripturally, like what people think about you, your credentials of your character weighs more than any amount of money, you know. So and it's true, because I live by that every day, and I get many opportunities just because of my character.
And another question I have for you too, because for me, I admire and you've inspired me too, you know, to grow deeper in my faith, because I've made a lot of mistakes as well. But when it comes down to, you know, your faith, you have a very strong faith in God. That's obvious. How do you go about making sure that you maintain the balance of education versus your faith? Because you know, now in schools, you know, we can't really talk about God and you know, your religion or your faith. So how do you maintain that balance?
It's really just walking that walk. You don't really have to verbally say, hey, I believe in Jehovah God, I believe in Jesus. You don't have to verbally say that.
Right.
In every arena that you're in, it just got to be the walk that you walk. Like, you see, I don't cuss. You see, I don't steal. You see, I don't try to do anything to get over on someone. It has to be shown through your work, you know. So that's that saying, faith without works is dead. So you can have faith, but if you're not putting in the work to build your faith, it's not going to mean anything, because they're going to be like, well, he's doing exactly what the world do. It's just nobody don't know about it. So no, you just walk your walk, and you show people through your acts of kindness what you've been taught through scriptures, and they'll see, and it'll entice them to want to know more about what you learned to help you get to where you was going. Because it's, like I said, it's a journey, and it's an everyday process. It's not, you never outgrow God. Never.
Boy, that's a fact. So, and that's some good stuff right there, man. You know, that's more inspiring than I think you understand, because you know, there's a lot of people walking around who want to get closer to God, who want to be able to, you know, walk in faith. But like I was saying earlier, there's something else out there that you have to fight against, which is, you know, influence, right? Popularity, what's cool and what's not. But from what I've seen from you, you know, I've seen that you are able to connect with kids with that positive light. You know, in the beginning, they're standing there like, who is this guy? But then by the end of the show, you know, they rocking like, dang, like he's saying some stuff for real.
Right.
So when you do stuff like that, what is it what is it that's going through your mind when you're writing a song tailored to a specific school? Because me personally, this is what I think. I think people who are musically inclined, I admire y'all, because in my mind, I can't think of something to rhyme and go on beat. To me, I admire that. So, what's happening in your head when you're writing a song?
Well, first of all, I can always do that. So just to know that,
Oh yeah, go ahead and flex on me.
yeah.
It's just natural to me.
No, I can always.
Oh, you said you couldn't.
I couldn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you
So
said you
so
couldn't.
that therefore, I'm saying that to you that you haven't had practice to do it. So of course it's going to be difficult for you to do it because you haven't had a trained mind to do it. So we could do anything that you've seen anybody do. We can do it. We have the brain power to do it. It's just, are you willing to put that time in to get better at it? And it might not look like that person that's doing it. It's going to look the way that Tyrone does it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to look the way that I do it. And that's another thing too. Like people get caught off of what they think it should look like.
Right.
But you got to do it how Tyrone is going to do it, and just learn the basics of the craft. And once you learn the basics of the craft, you can add your own flavor to it. And that's the thing about hip hop. Hip hop, is what you feel, how you feel. But there is techniques to it to be really good. So just studying. So you can't rhyme. So I'm just gonna let you know. Easy, I tap in.
I can do it when if it takes me a long time to do it. But do you freestyle at all?
Freestyle all the time. That's how songs are written to me. This is my perspective, so I'm gonna make sure I put that on camera. It's my perspective. We all freestyle, but then once it comes out and we write it down, then we have to make it make sense to the topic at hand. So I freestyle on all my songs, but I go back and write the meanings, the right bars that needs to fit into the song. But yeah, it all comes from how I'm feeling and what I'm emotionally talking about.
Nice. So with the sound of learning, connecting, to kids through song and dance, where has that taken you, and how has that grown you in your own life? Because like I said, me and you have talked several times before, so I kind of know a little bit about where you came from to where you are now. How has the sound of learning, the creation of what you do now, how is that taking you from, point A in your life or point C in your life to point D in your life?
Well, it started from, just when I first started trying to get into schools here and there, just trying to get in where I fit in, and, I didn't understand the value of truly what I had. I knew it was a good product, but when I mean the true value, like the impact it would have until a couple of years later into my business. But went to a few schools. Like I said, I first started last year. I think I went to 100 schools in that year.
Wow.
So
what is that? Where's that going? Is it all in South Carolina, North Carolina?
No, it's the Sound Learner is able to go to any school in the country.
Where's the farthest you traveled?
California, so I say Vegas.
Nice.
So Vegas, New York, Florida.
So do you notice any difference in the culture of the schools in the different areas of the country?
No, my thing is the only difference is the dialect. Certain songs is a big popular song in that school, but far as like the Sound of Learning show, once you have a great show or a great formula, it's gonna work everywhere you go. You just might have to tweak some stuff here and there, but the core base is solid. So we worked it enough to have a great show no matter where we go. It's been consistent. Humans are humans, you come in there, humans are humans. Like nobody's gonna come in there and rock with you that don't know you for the first time.
Right.
They gotta get to know you. So the schools that I come back to that knows me, it's pandemonium. The schools that don't know me, they trying to figure it out. Time like it get like maybe 2 or 3 songs into the show, they all in, because you can't fake authentic. And I come from the projects. I was born in the Bronx, lived in Brooklyn, moved down here to Calpins, which is the rural area, and then lived in,
Calpin's a little bit more than rural.
yeah, and then lived in Highland. So when it comes to humble beginnings, I understand those humble beginnings. I understand the problems that come with it. So that's how I'm able to connect with them, because I can understand from their spectrum. It's just a little bit things different with the technology. Like technology made it a big difference from my
Right.
era and their era.
Right. So if you had to choose your favorite area, right? So I'm looking. So in my mind, I've created a triangle. You have New York, where you came from, all the way down to Florida, all the way over to California. If you had to choose your favorite area, what would it be?
Oh, this is an easy one for me. If it wasn't for all the storms and all the tropicalness, we'll be in Florida right now. You'll be recording this in Florida right now.
So why is that?
I just love the weather. When I wrote songs out there, I felt free, because I guess because you also by the beach. It's just a different scenery.
Nice. So all right. So to all of my viewers out there, if y'all know somebody in Florida, share this video. He want to come back. He want to live there. That's where he want to live in Florida. And Becca, if you see this video too, he want to move to Florida. All right. So and this might be putting you on the spot, but I gotta do it. This is the stuff that people want to hear. Your favorite school. What is the best school in your mind that you've ever been to?
Okay, I don't have a favorite school in like far as the school name, but the favorite vibe of my school, when they come in there and they already engaged, they already lit, they know the words to the song, they went to YouTube to study the song because they heard the Sound of Learning was coming. That's when I turn up even more and want to give even more stuff back to them, because it feels good when you appreciate it. You know what I mean? Even when you ain't appreciated, it just feels good when you appreciate it, because it takes a lot of work to craft things out carefully to make sure that these kids get it and it's good for them. You know?
Nice. All right. So the name Son of Ice. I know a lot of people, when they hear a name of an artist, most people wonder, how did you come up with that name? So the Son of Ice. I think that's a unique name. I think it's pretty cool. So where did that come from?
It came from, I had to make a name change.
What was your name before?
My name before was Baby Doc.
Baby Doc?
Yep.
D-O-C?
D-O-C.
Okay, well, let's go there. Where did Baby Doc come from?
Well, my dad gave me that name when I was younger, so I kept it, and that was like my dance name. Like everybody knew me as Baby Doc. That was my dancer name, and I had to change it because there was a ruler in Haiti called Baby Doc, and he wasn't a good ruler, so I had to make the change. And my manager at the time was like, "Hey, we need to make a name change," and we thought about my dad being Dr. Ice, and we came up with Son of Ice.
So your dad was an artist too?
Yes.
Okay. So was he a rapper, singer, dancer?
Yep, he was in a famous group called UTFO back in the 80s. They had a hit record called Roxanne, Roxanne.
I remember listening to that. Yeah, we talked about that when we first met. Yeah.
So, so they was on the first hip hop 80s tour, so they the pioneers of hip hop, so.
Nice. Pioneers of hip hop. So did hip hop really start in New York?
It really
Or was
did.
it-
Yeah, it started in New York.
So you got it authentically then.
Yeah, I was born into it. Couldn't when you look at my history of my life, I couldn't escape it because everything I did was hip hop. So I've been around it all my life.
And then, so when you came up with the name Son of Ice, was it a thing for you where you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna rap about what I'm living, or am I gonna rap about something to try to encourage somebody else? Because I know in the beginning you said, there was a time where you rapped about stuff that you wouldn't want to be known for now. How did you lift off into it with the name Son of Ice? Were you rapping about negative stuff then, or were you already on your positive vibe?
No, I was rapping about negative stuff, and when I mean negative stuff, I don't like to bring it up because
Gotcha.
we're moving forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed of it, but just rapped about partying and doing young stuff when you're young. So I had to make a conscious decision when I was getting ready to do the Santa Learning. Do I change my name? Do I keep my name? And I decided to keep my name because I wanted people to see the growth.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted people to understand that I did come from somewhere. I didn't just come out the blue being positive. I had to learn. I had to unlearn a lot of negative things to become positive. So this is not a gimmick where I'm faking.
And see, that's the whole purpose of this podcast, man. I like talking about stuff like that because when a lot of people go through a lot of stuff, right? And a lot of people hit that crossroads where it's like, man, I know better, but am I going to choose to do better? And then when you're presented with people who have done it, and then you hear them speak what they've been through, that's the type of encouragement to, kind of push people in the right direction. Because I know it worked for me, because I haven't done everything right, but when I meet people like you and constantly stay in contact with those type of people, listen to what those people say. It's in the Bible as well. A wise man is going to listen to his father's instruction, not necessarily your father, but just a wise man.
Right.
So when you talk about stuff like what you've been through, hey, I came from this place and this is where I am now. That's the whole reason I do this, to kind of pull somebody else from that negative spot, or that spot that they don't want to be, to a spot where they can say, okay, I'm proud of who I am.
Right. Yeah, because we got to show the growth. I don't ever want nobody to think that I'm perfect, because there's obviously nobody in this world that's perfect.
Right.
But I don't even want to have a facade like I'm perfect. There's mistakes that be made all the time. But the thing is, are you going to hold yourself accountable? Are you going to make the changes? Are you going to get the proper help that you're going to need to make the changes, So I just want to encourage anybody to never give up doing what is right. It's a hard fight. You just got to keep getting up, keep getting better. And what I'm learning, even through my journey, the mess ups help you to get better, because now you're going to avoid this, because this would do that. That would happen if you do that. So if you never know what it's like to break down, and you always had it when it was good, when it break down, it's going to be extremely hard for you. But when you know what it's like to break down, you're able to build yourself back up, because you know what it was like, what you got to do, and you just got to make sure you make the conscious effort to keep doing it.
Right. So is there anybody in your life who played a part in helping you to learn this type of stuff?
Yes, there's a lot of, it's a village. it's a
Man,
lot of
what's
people.
crazy? I'm going to cut you off right there. I got to cut you off right there. So I spoke with my friend Josh Boville, and and the guy that I said I want you to meet. And I'm definitely going to put y'all in contact, and you'll see his episode. It'll come out a little bit before yours. So he does this thing called the Empathy Project, basically reaching and teaching black boys. And when you said a village, that's the same thing that he preaches. It takes a village, to raise somebody and get them to the mindset of, hey, I know better, so I'm gonna do better.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to make that point.
But yeah, it took a lot of people throughout the years, even people that I didn't even know was doing good for me when I was younger. But when I'm older, I started seeing like, no, they really was looking out. They really was helping. Oh, they really wasn't that mean. They was just really trying to stop me from going down this direction. So there's a lot of stuff that you see hindsight when you finally make the correction to fix your mistakes, rewrite your wrongs by doing what's right. You can't change the past, but you could do what you could do in the future.
Right. So, and there's a lot of people out there who really don't have the guidance that you had. You know what I mean? Some people out here navigating, learning the hard way per se. So, what would you say to a young man or a young woman out there now who knows that they're doing wrong but wants to do better but don't know where to start? What kind of advice would you have for them?
You got to start somewhere. You can't take it and you can't take it whole. So like if you working out, you don't just start with everything. You don't just start with your chest, push-ups, and leg day. Nah, you might just have to start with just leg day. You know, you might just have to just start with push-ups. Okay, push-ups for a while till you can get good at doing your push-ups. You know, so just take each step at a time. Don't look at your situation as a whole and try to attack it as a whole. You take it little by little, and once you take it little by little, it becomes big over time. But when you try to take it at once, you're gonna get overwhelmed and then you give up. So you just want to take it little steps at a time.
Yeah, I've experienced that, man, because I've tried to better myself over the years. A lot of times having to start over and over and over again because I wanted to change everything right then. But I get
There's
what
no
you're
way.
saying. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
There's no way.
That's what caused the rollback. You know what I mean? Trying
Right.
to do everything at one time. But like I said, when I meet people like you who are a little bit ahead of me in terms of the development of self, I appreciate stuff like that.
Well, I'm gonna say, don't look at it that way neither.
Why you say that?
Because we all are doing good in good aspects in certain ways that
So relatively good.
you might be doing good in this area right here that I'm working on myself right now.
That
So
makes sense.
we're all in different stages of our journey that no one is better than the other. We're working to get better. That's why we need each other to help balance out our good and our bad. You know what I mean? So no, I wouldn't put ahead. I would put like we're just on this journey to try to get better.
Gotcha. So what about people who, like, you see somebody who they might be stuck in their troubles, right? And then you have some people who really just don't even want to deal with them. What do you say about that type of thing?
Two, like I said, go back to what I said earlier. You gotta walk the walk. So even if you're not saying nothing to them, they're seeing your walk. Because a lot of times people think that Jesus hung with the wicked people, but he went to go get them and bring them out, and they was in his environment. He wasn't in their environment. He went to their environment to get them out. So to those people that don't want to deal, like, walk your walk. Make sure that you walk in right in it with integrity. The other ones, like, sometimes those ones got to hit rock bottom to even want the help, to even want the change. And everybody's low is not the same low. My low might be like, man, I'm just feeling empty inside. I'm not feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose. That might be my low. Somebody else's low might be drugs, or might be
Right.
Homelessness, or might be getting in trouble with the law. But everybody low is different. So whatever low they hit to get that correction, they gotta first willingly want that correction. You know what I'm saying? You can't give nobody the information that doesn't want it, because you're really wasting time, because they don't want it. They're not gonna do nothing with it. So at the end of the day, they have to want to receive the correction and the training to get better.
So have you ever met somebody or dealt with somebody who didn't want the change?
Oh, I deal with it all the time, in schools, in that nature. And it's just because the environment that they're in, how they're growing up. And sometimes they think they know it all, And once you grow up and you realize you don't know nothing at all, like, there's things that I thought I knew, I know nothing at all. I knew a slight bit of what I thought I knew a lot of. So once they get to that part in their journey that they realize, man, I don't know this. I thought I did, but I don't. they'll come to realization and try to get that change and get that help. But you gotta surround yourself with positive people. Once you got that thought in your head to do that right things, you got to get rid of the negative people and start getting with the positive people on a consistent basis. I mean, consistent. Talk to them. You know, every day you got negative thought, you talking to them to help you get out of that rut. And it's really a mindset thing.
So how do you tie that to the sound of learning?
Well, that's what music comes in important. Why you think music is so popular, even with the negative? Because it's in their memory brain, it's in their subconscious mind, hearing this song. So the sound of learning want to come up with songs that's in your brain that makes you want to make good decisions, make positive decisions. And it's not just for kids, it's for adults as well if they truly listen to the lyrics. But us as a society want to put you in a box, put you, hey, you're here with the kids, you're here with that, but not really paying attention to the message that you're really giving. So it's the same thing. It's a catch-22, you know. They let the kids listen to the bad music and not really gravitating to the message that they're pushing there. Then the same thing over here, they're putting you in a box and not listening to the message that's passing on there. So at the end of the day, it's not what music you listen to, it's the message that you listen to.
Right. And you know what's crazy that you say that? I'm reading a book now, and the people who have read this book will know exactly what I'm talking about. But it talks about a hypnotic rhythm, meaning that when you do something over and over and over again, it becomes
Repetition.
almost it's almost natural to you. So and the reference that was made was that, you know, you don't see the seasons change, but they change, right? And it's like the same things that we do in life. When we do it over and over and over again, it's almost like a perfectly natural cycle, and it becomes who you are. And once you get into that natural hypnotic rhythm, it's extremely hard to break. You know, and the further you go, the more stamped it becomes. So let's say you have a person who is living that life, or living the street life. But they say one day, man, I want to do something different. How do you recommend that they start to do something different to break that rhythm?
Change their habits, even from what you eat. It could go as deep as that, but change your habits, change your environment.
And that's true though, because in that same book, it talks about, you know, the unhealthy foods that we eat starts to block our mental processes.
Yeah, so, you know, just change your environment. Like my call log, and this is not bad, but I'm just showing you the difference. My call log used to be full of dancers, you know, because that's all my environment was. I just knew, you know, other dancers, things of that nature. Now my call log is superintendents, principals, teachers, philanthropists, mentors. So it changed because I wanted to be in school. So I had to push myself in environments that I necessarily wasn't in. I was in the dance world. So just even in a positive note, dance world wouldn't have helped me in the schools, getting into schools, because they all would have been worried about dancing or getting to the competitions, things of that nature. But me being with the superintendent, okay, he could talk to get me into this school. Oh, the principal, she could talk to get me into this school. So you got to connect to the things that you're trying to get to that is positive. So once you figure out what you want to do with your life in a positive way, you have to connect everything that goes with that. Everything from the janitors to, you know what I mean, to your bank teller.
You're right.
You got to connect everything that goes to the craft that you're going into.
I'm in the process of doing that now. That's crazy that you mentioned that. My call log looks a little bit different now too.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit different now too. I think one of the problems that I had, and I think, you know, one of the problems that a lot of people have is that I have the problem of trusting too hard when I do trust, or not trusting at all. Right? And what I say that, the reason I say that is because, you know, I've had situations where I've trusted people, and then it's like the people that I've trusted just totally threw me for a loop, right? But the people that I don't trust, that I didn't trust, you know, I kind of look at the people around them and see that, you know, those people are growing and developing into the things that they want to be. But you are a person that, you know, I trust, and that I look at as somebody who can help me to develop into what I want to be. And then I want now for you to tell the people that, you know, will watch this video who you are and how they can get in contact with you and how you can help them develop into who they want to be.
Okay, well, you know, I go by Son of Ice. My company's called The Sound of Learning. You can go to thesoundoflearning.com. My YouTube channel is Son of Ice Video, and I'm really easy to reach through email, the sound of learning SOI@gmail.com. You can reach me through that email as well. So I'm very approachable. We just have to make sense of what we're talking about. Can't just be talking about random stuff, but let's be intentional. We can have fun and joke, but let it be at the right time, at the right place, and that's part of growth as well. Because you usually take all type of conversation, but when you walk with a purpose, you got to make sure that it don't steer you away from going back to your old ways or things of that nature. So you got to make sure you maintain your conversation correctly.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll drop the links so that you can get in contact with Son of Ice in the comments. And if you feel like this video could help somebody that you know or help yourself, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.